Watch Radio. You're in the Rona Report where we have Naeem. What's up, Naeem?
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you? That's
I'm
the question.
fine.
You fine?
Yeah. I've been making it.
Making it?
Sometimes it's just having a little time to work on things helps out. But
Okay, so like, what were you doing? Because of course, we're here with COVID-19. The virus is real in Maryland. We're on shutdown, social distancing, self quarantine, all that. So, how's that stop your groove? Because you produce, I know what you do. So tell the people, like, how's it slowed you down professionally? How'd you have to augment your schedule? What you do?
all right. So the last date I think we were filming was I think it was the 14th of March.
In March. Okay.
Um, and on that date, one of the actresses actually wasn't going to come because of uh, of COVID-19, and that was like our last date to shoot the rest of the movie. So
Hmm.
we was able to convince her to come down, and that's really me personally. I wasn't completely following it. Like I mean, I was hearing about it and stuff like, but I really don't sit down and watch the news.
Hmm.
Um, so when she came and she had all this news about what was going on in New York, because that's where she had came from.
Hmm.
Um, then I started to think more, seriously about like how it was going to affect everything moving forward. But the last date that we had shot was that weekend, and it was just different because it was kind of like the city was starting to slow down, and
Hmm.
uh, so we were considering having a casting call. We had actually already had the date for the casting call on the 28th.
Hmm.
Um, and I was shooting another production, someone else's film, that weekend before the 28th. I think it was the 20th or the 19th. And she had called me that Thursday. It was like, some of the, actors and actresses are, you know, wondering if they still shooting. And I still wasn't taking it serious at that point, like to the point where I wasn't going to shoot
Okay.
until they were, addressing their concerns about it, and they had canceled that shoot, and then we canceled our casting call. So basically, all I've been doing since then was writing and just structuring some of the other scripts that I had.
Okay. Because I know I went to Dad Gang, so you're shooting something else now, right?
Yeah, so I shoot,
What are you shooting?
I just got finished shooting I Knew Better. That was written and directed by Silk White.
So
Um,
okay.
yeah, and then I was the next thing I was shooting was Confession. No, I'm sorry. Commandments of a Female Hustler by writer Stacy Fenner. She wrote a book and she was trying to turn it into a web series. So she came to me to produce it for. And that was what I was supposed to shoot on the 19th, but I didn't get a chance to do that. And then I have uh, my own series that's coming out called Black Therapy, and I have a movie that we're shooting called A Queen's Way. So those are the projects that kind of on the shelf right now. And
Wow.
so,
Sounds like you're very busy. So you're doing some freelance. You're doing your own stuff. I heard something say Queen's Way. So
yeah, Queen's
listen,
Way.
Oh Lord, here we go.
listen.
Queen's Way,
I know I
yeah,
heard something say Queen's Way. I don't know if
yeah,
it was a
yeah.
casting call for Queen. I mean, I'm not sure,
Yeah, I mean, no,
but
absolutely.
I
When
heard Queen's Way. I mean, maybe did I hear that wrong, G? I know I heard.
You didn't hear it wrong.
I know, bro. I know I didn't hear
I mean, try to get your toe in there, get
it.
your Me Too on. I know.
Let's do it. Let's do. Hey, Naeem, listen.
yes,
You know the name of that sounds real familiar, bro.
yes, it does, right?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. I think some people need to be in there. Some peoples. But
Yeah, I mean,
anyway,
I go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah. No, let you answer that. Yeah, some peoples
Yeah,
need to.
yeah, I got the projects. I told you. I mean, they here. I can only do what people are willing. The more people are willing to work with me, the more projects I'll be able to put them in. Because like I'll write my own, but then I work as a production company. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll produce other people's products, and then they'll ask for certain actresses to come if I know them, and I will suggest them to come. So the upcoming year, um, there's a lot of projects on the calendar, because
Okay.
we were trying to be as consistent as possible coming in. We had ended one of our reoccurring shows that we were doing on the web series just so we could clear room for other projects. And
And what was that?
that was Love Hurts. It
Love
was on,
Hurts. Okay.
yeah,
So Love Hurts is been finalized. Okay.
yeah.
Because I think
We
that
ended that.
14th, it was Julian's Big Mistakes final party that was canceled too.
Yeah, Julian's Big Mistake was canceled. That was
So
that was the last party that was canceled. Yeah.
yeah, that's the last part. Yep. Mm-hmm. So that
Yeah.
was the last one canceled. Okay. Well,
That was going to be a big. It's going to be a big step up for Queen to go from a small bit character to the title character of another production. I don't know. That's a pretty big
nah, I
leap.
don't think Amy did not put me in no title role. I'm clear of that. I didn't ask
Okay.
to be the title. I asked to be there.
Yeah. Nah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nah, I
know,
don't think the title is my place. My place is to be present, not to be titled.
I
Your
definitely
place
could
is
find
extra,
some. Yeah, I
extra.
definitely
No, no,
extra there.
nah, bro. Don't listen to him. He is not my agent. It is not.
I try to make sure everybody has a speaking role in whatever I do. I don't use a lot of extras. It's just like
Good,
people
good,
standing
good, good.
around. Um,
A queen need to talk in the queen's way. So you
yeah,
shut up.
yeah, yeah.
So you
Yeah,
hush your mouth.
that was one of the movies I was going to do before I did that game.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. And I
it was
really like
actually
that guy.
written. Yeah, it was written before Dad's Gang. No, I think I might have written it around the same. I probably wrote it around the same time. But
Hmm.
I had held that one back just because some of the characters I needed for it, I just at the time I didn't see it. Plus, it was too similar to what another title we released around that same time, so I wanted to do something that was different from all the titles that I was producing.
Okay.
Uh,
And that was Dad Game.
that was that again. Yeah, it
And you
was.
wouldn't believe Oscar D did a Rona report with us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And
Ah,
I met Oscar D at Dad Game.
yeah,
So
yeah,
that's how
yeah.
you build out. Yeah. He did a
Absolutely.
Rona report, a excellent one at that.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's a great actor too.
yeah, that guy is special. So yeah, we met Oscar D through you. Okay, so like family wise, so I know you have children, so school, how's all of that going down? It's changed everybody's movement. So personally, how's that dealing with? Because we're here professionally, so what's going on personally?
Right now, my kids, they're actually at my sister-in-law's house. They've been out there for about a week. My daughters, anyway. My son's home. Um, my wife, she's a nurse, so she works still,
Okay.
so she's still working. Um, for me, it's like up and down, because I'm very high strung. So not having these things going on, and so it affects me emotionally some things.
Mm,
Because I'm just in here, and I'm also high risk because I have asthma and bronchitis. So
mm-hmm.
um, I definitely don't want to be, begging for a ventilator. So I try to stay as far away from it because I could work at my job, but my job, the main, we do government contracts and schools, and they all close, but they also have a contract with Target and Lowe's, which is open, but it's not like it's a lot of, I
Mm-hmm.
might go out there and work for an hour and it ain't worth exposing myself,
Got it.
4 hours worth of work, so,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Mm-hmm.
and then, monetarily, you're going to take a hit, but the whole world is taking a hit monetarily. So it's not even anything I should sit and
We all
say
have
that's
equity in this hit. Everybody taking a hit, bro. Everybody.
yeah, everybody's taking a hit. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's a great time to, restructure a lot of things too. Like far as the plan, like whatever the plan is, look at it again and and that'll occupy my mind a little bit.
Yeah, that's I'm telling you, you got to do a lot of reassessment right now. I almost was thinking, even though you know you have all of these thoughts in your mind, you're kind of scared. It's something you can't see, you can't put your hand on it. The messaging about it is very confusing. But and in all actuality, I think this reset is like a time for us to just chill for a minute.
Yes,
You
it
know,
is.
time to just reset, get our mind right, kind of just slow down, give the earth a chance to regenerate itself. I
But
don't
no
know.
one's talking about that. That's the other thing.
I really think that is what's going on. Like they said, the ozone is doing well with the lack of movement. Um, I think that nature loves this quiet too.
Yeah, but we still have to look at where the viruses are going to come from. Like this isn't something that they didn't know was going to happen. This was something
Absolutely,
they was just
exactly.
unprepared for, and they didn't
Yes,
really have.
and we didn't mitigate it. You have to
Yeah,
mitigate
yeah,
when it comes in, and we didn't. And this is our
yeah.
fault. We have a fool at the top. Let's be clear.
In the middle too. Like it's
Yes,
not
there
just
you go,
so,
bro.
so it's
Say
like
it.
we can say he's at the top, he's a fool, but the thing is, everybody um, contributes to what goes wrong in the society. Even the thing is, they're going to steer it in any direction that's going to benefit them. So if everybody's all about like, hey, let's spend all our money wisely and keeping the earth good and recycling and not eating every animal that walks. Uh, if we doing that, then that's where the money goes. Everything happens because of that. Because it's not a top down country anyway, so it's not like um, we got a king up there. He's just up there just making sure money flows in a certain direction. That's really it. So
His direction. Let's be
yeah,
clear.
yeah, his direction. That's
His
why he wanted
direction.
to open everything back up because he got all them hotels.
Absolutely. You want to get his cat. I get it. But it's real reckless, it's malicious, and it's so uninformed. But I mean, in all actuality, we have to do something for ourselves. We have to self quarantine. We have to stay away from each other, to let the scientists do their job. Let us try to get a vaccine and get some test kits and get this together. But if we're looking for somebody else to save us right now, Trumpy is like, please, I'm busy.
Yeah. Can I ask you know anybody that had it or has it or
I
went through it?
don't know
I
anyone
do.
per se, but oh yeah, that's right. You do. Go ahead, G.
Yeah. I have 4 family members, 3 in the hospital, 1 in a coma.
What? I
Oh,
didn't know
okay,
that.
okay, okay. See that?
Really?
See, and you know what? Some of that right there, G, it cuts through all of the
Oh my
conspiracy that everybody, and that's the one thing that kind of clouds everything when everybody wants to talk about the conspiracy about stuff. But
God. Hmm.
like, you gotta think about it. Like, these viruses, it's nature's defense against, the negative things, just like cancer and everything else. So
Hmm.
you only get viruses from negative situations anyway. So
Yes.
um, you gotta think about how it happened. And if no one's asking that, if we always ask for vaccines, we're never going to stop anything like this because the vaccine is telling you it's COVID-19, meaning
Hmm.
it's 2019. It's going to be a COVID-20. It's going to be a COVID-21.
Yeah, it won't stop it. Like it didn't stop the flu, but we can't. This a process of not being able to move around. It will slow that down. It will slow that type of movement. Like the flu is never stopped. There's a vaccine, but people die every year from the flu. But what we have now is an unbridled killer. So we just need to slow it down, handle it, and then move from there. But we have to watch how we treat the earth too, with radiation and
Oh yeah,
how
absolutely, absolutely.
we people are not talking about how that breaks down the defenses of the earth, and you see these type of viruses, and we didn't have a real winter. Naeem,
Yeah, I agree.
there's no
Yeah,
winter this year, and we did not have the regular seasonal things that we have. So you unleash, it's very warm
yeah,
from these ice caps. You unleash things that have been frozen for years.
yeah,
And I mean, and that's just true. I mean, I don't know where this virus came from, but they knew it was there. It wasn't something that showed up and say, "Pow!" It showed itself, and we didn't mitigate it, and now we're eating it.
yeah. Because there's so many of them. Like you still got swine flu and you still got the bird flu. You get these things
Hmm.
are called that for a reason because they come from animals and it comes from the the consolidation of animals.
Hmm.
So it's like you
Yep.
ain't gonna stop. It's just if you go into like of course in states like Maryland and heavy regulated states, you just can't walk into a chicken farm or something like that. You just can't walk in there. Like you're going to get sprayed down. You got to go through all this high intensity of keeping you from contaminating anti-contaminant situations.
Hmm.
That ain't every state. Every state doesn't agree on that. So and every country doesn't agree on that.
Then
So
y'all gotta stop eating that. You stop eating stuff like that. Then, it puts you in a place where then you got to get more self sufficient. Like during this time, people are actually cooking again. We got to start producing our own food and vegetables. If we start doing some of those things, if you want meat that's good, you got to farm it. You got to listen. If you want real meat, then you got to grow it. I
yeah,
think that's the only way. If you expect these folks to give you something that's going to build your body, then you better sit down somewhere.
yeah, it's all cloned and it's all soulless
Exactly.
food and yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
trust me, I've just recently, probably early this year, I converted my daughters and my wife converted to be a vegan.
Oh,
Um,
well, amazing.
but I had
Yeah,
did it on and off. I had went on and off
right.
for a while,
So
but
now it's just steel cut oats and
Yep. Don't forget them steel cows. Gee, I know you can remember. Don't forget them.
yeah.
We always talk about your steel cuts, bro.
Yeah, yeah, and that's the thing. Not only you got steel cut, I had actually bought old fashioned oats on accident because I went in to Sam's Club and that's all they had, and I did not
right.
like that. Like,
Yeah, yeah. That's part of your the fall off game. It's like, oh, I can't get my steel cut.
yeah, I can't get the steel cut. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But the good thing is I bet you're not having them digestive issues and the issues you was having. You change the
Nah,
diet,
actually, I'm
change
I'm
that
trying
diet.
to I'm trying to get my blood pressure down. I was trying to get more knowledgeable anyway. But I
Yeah.
didn't eat meat like that anyway. I didn't eat it every day. So
Hmm.
it was like I would have probably 2 or 3 days I wouldn't eat meat. Um, but when I did eat it, it was just because it was a good cook. It wasn't like fried chicken and stuff like that, like stuff I stayed away from. But um, it still, once I got more knowledge about meat products and how it affects my body and my blood pressure and other things like that, I just went ahead and just said I might as well just go ahead and just all the way commit because I really never had a problem with not eating meat. My problem was with carbs, with sugar and carbs, you
Hmm.
know. So like, you don't eat meat, that's one thing, but they got all these other meat alternatives if you really want it, which are actually rather good.
Hmm.
And then with it's just food tastes good when you know how to cook it. That's the only thing.
Well, that's true. Not everybody know how to cook it, but definitely we need to start cooking. And it's a good thing that some of these restaurants are closed, even though people still order and carry out. I just don't understand how you can order food and we got something so contagious around us. But we just have to be real careful in this moment.
Yeah, it just lets you know
Mhm.
how people are so dependent
Yeah,
on
that's so
somebody
dependent.
else
Exactly. And
cooking and
someone,
someone else, providing
exactly.
food for them.
Yeah.
Most of the urban areas are built like that. They're not built with open food markets where you can
Yeah,
buy
they're built with food
fresh.
deserts. You're right. You're
Yeah,
right.
so
It's designed, but it's unfortunate because then you get caught up in this weird synergy of having to deal with food that you don't know where it's coming from. I guess all food you don't know where it's coming from, but at least you can wash it down, cook it real well.
unless you go to one of these farms, I got Richardson's farm around the corner from me. I got a few places like that we went to plenty of times. And I mean, most of the time, he'll tell you where the food comes from. It's just in transport what happens. But, uh, with meat has it has to be dead for a while before it gets to you. It has to be in a locker. It has to be, transported because,
Mm.
it ain't, no one's killing it in front of you unless you're going to, pick out some chicken that you want,
Where
Uh,
that at? Ain't
yeah.
too many places you can go pick your chicken and they wring the neck.
Well, I know. I talked to my friend. He from Panama. He said that was the only way they ate chicken.
That's what's
Um,
up. That's
But
probably
that's most countries like that. When you go buy meat, like you want to go buy it live. Like ain't nobody's cutting it up for you.
yeah.
You're gonna pull a chicken out of a cage, and then you're gonna take it and you're gonna swing it around your head, and you know,
We got a fast forward society, so it's not rolling like that up in this joint.
nah, 'cause it's
Nah,
too much work. It's too much work.
it's too much work. Yeah, so you either have to give it up or go buy it, or you can. It take a long time to get a chicken ready for the plate. I tell people, listen, that's a process. That's why they got to chemically enhance that thing because it takes a minute
It's gonna
to
get
get
more.
it.
It's gonna get more cheaper for the meat alternatives. Because just in research, it just takes less steps to make it. Um, and the only problem they have is the market hasn't grown to the point where they can cheapen the prices by just mass production, just like chickens and stuff like that. Chicken and meat is cheap
I
because
think
it's a
that's
lot
what's
of it.
happening. I think people are really investing in their health, and not that chicken is bad. I don't want to say that. Not that any meat is bad, but it's all in your own choice and your own palate. But I choose not to eat it. But it's not that it's a bad thing. But I just think that in time, people are
You eat
looking
no
into
meat,
health.
Queen. You eat no meat,
No,
right?
we don't know me.
How long's that been for you? That you
This is 4 years.
4 years?
4
And
years. No meat,
how
no
did you eat?
alcohol.
How did you eat before that?
I ate, I ate meat.
Was it like
Well, I
cheeseburger?
never really ate steak and stuff like that, but I always ate. But for a long time, I just ate chicken and turkey and fish
Okay.
forever. And then, but I've been stopped eating hamburgers and that years ago. So those have been gone for 20 something years. But
Yeah, yeah.
definitely that chicken, that yard bird, shawty.
Hmm.
It's so hard to get rid of the chicken. The chicken box in Baltimore is real. It is
Yeah.
a, it is a, it calls you. So the chicken box and half was my friend. And
Hmm.
but I gave it up. I was sick too, and I just felt that if I ate better, that I would feel better, and it helped me for a while to definitely feel better and stay away from surgery. I still had to have surgery, but I thought it would make me avoid surgery if I ate better and was more holistic and organic. But when I started doing it the way that I felt, I stopped having like hay fever and all of these things that I used to have every year and these type of reactions. And I just
Yeah.
felt better. I just really felt better. I mean, everyone's different, but I felt better. And I said, so why go back?
No,
And,
I agree with
and I
you.
don't miss
I
it.
actually got a few guys I had convinced to, not even really convince them. I just gave them the information that I had because, mostly what I wrote in Dad Gang was about two things. It was our mental health and our physical health.
Hmm.
Of men of a certain age at the crossroads of life. You know what I mean? Like that, your mid 30s, and for Black men, mid 30s is different. It's not like like white Americans where they kind of just start in their life. Like they might have kids in their mid 30s, or
Hmm.
late 30s or whatever. And a lot of us, we already got hypertension, we already got high cholesterol and diabetes and all these issues.
So
Um,
early. Yeah.
so early, yeah, so early.
Hmm.
So I was talking to one of my friends, a long time friend, and he was just asking me, he's like, man, how's it going with that? Like, and I explained to him that um, you don't like when you really want it. Like, I just went to a taco spot in Hamden one day, and I thought they gave me steak on accident. It was a taco that was supposed to be the vegan Beyond Meat or whatever. So I
Hmm.
went back. I was like, man, I think you can put steak in this. You know what I mean? Like, this is it. He's like, nah, that's it. So once I realized that really all you're missing is the texture and the seasoning,
Hmm.
and you're not really
But I
missing
don't
that.
even eat those Beyond Meats. I don't mess with them. I don't mess with soy. So I don't eat any
Well,
of
that's not
the
soy
tofu.
actually. That's not
Yeah.
soy actually.
Yeah,
I don't mess with
I
soy
don't
either.
yeah, I don't really mess with nothing meatish. I just eat everything outside of the meatish thing. I just got it out of my palate. Like, it's not that it's bad, but I don't like
No, that's a
going
good
to
thing. That's a
places.
good thing.
Yeah, I don't like
But
to go to places and then they use they use the same utensils for the regular meat, and they do my little vegan meat, and
oh
uh,
yeah, 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 yeah.
I just don't even buy those type of things because they don't separate, and I get it because most of the people are buying meat. So when they go cook the meat, then they go over and cook my non meat. I'm like, are we using the same? I'm eating meat.
Yeah, and
So,
I would say it depends on where you go, because a lot
yeah,
of
it
these
does depend
places,
where you
if you
go.
do go somewhere where majority of everything there is like made to not be meat, because I never, I grew up Muslim, and a lot of I actually had a lot of this holistic stuff being taught to me when I was young on how we eat. Mostly, we was taught about how to eat halal, which meant if you did eat meat, you had to eat halal meat, which meant the meat had to be raised a certain way and killed a certain way.
Okay.
It couldn't just chop it, hit it upside his head and all that. Like, nah, it was.
Yeah,
It's like just like the Hebrews have the kosher, it's the same thing.
got it.
And their belief was that if you mistreat your food in a certain way, it will kill you. Without them knowing even about viruses, and this is thousands of years ago, but they knew that the treatment of the animal was important, and not harboring a virus. Because where does a virus come from? It doesn't come from the healthy, well taken care of animal. It comes from the stressful, claustrophobic animal that got to get antibiotics, and they
Wow.
just, building viruses on them. So I kind of had that already. We didn't eat pork. I really didn't eat ground beef, anything like that. Um, I just was trying some of the meat alternatives, because when I looked at Beyond Meat, I was like, I'm not eating none of that stuff. I don't want to eat soy. I don't want to eat nothing with a binder, because I already don't eat gluten anyway. But then I researched it and found out it was 5 products that you can make in your house, it was kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, all right, well, they're not really using none of the things I thought they used. They didn't use soy or none of that stuff. So
Okay.
that's why I took a crack at it, just to see.
There's a
Um,
lot of that out there because people still want to have that meat texture. I just, and I don't eat out a lot neither from other people, so I don't really have that. But, Naeem, we're at the part of the interview where we do our last will and testament.
okay.
And we want you to leave a jewel with the folks. You've been with us before.
Yes,
So
yes, yes.
we know you're not gonna bring no verses out or hit no spit nothing for us, no talent.
Nah, I don't have that that time.
But definitely leave a jewel with the folks. We're going through a unbelievable time. It's nothing that we could have forethought. The process that we're processing and digesting every day. The news changes every day. These numbers of the deaths change every day. It's real scary right now. So leave something for the folks that's going to make them feel good, bro.
All right, I would first want to, just tell everybody that fear is not in your best interest. No matter what they're telling you about anything that's going on within the nation, fear just doesn't help you. You're born and you're going to die. So you have to accept it in a way. You don't want to accept it in a way where you're careless and you go out here and you just don't, but your fear and your negative vibrations will affect your overall health. So um, you have to keep your spirits high. You have to keep yourself optimistic that we're going to go through this, and it's just scary anytime people have to go through everything together, all at once. But if somebody who's been going battling cancer or battling an illness other than what's going on nationwide, so it's the perfect time for everyone to develop some healthy habits, some positive reinforcement within their lives. So whenever they go through this alone, whereas you're dealing with your own personal, issues, disease or whatever, you built something up, um, and read and learn yourself. It's a perfect time to learn yourself. That's what's so scary about it, because people don't really like to sit with them without the noise of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's what we're going back to. We're going back to where you just have to sit and listen to yourself, and gather information about you.
Mm, amazing. Amazing. Awesome. G?
Naeem, thank you so much for taking some time with us and sharing your experience going through this moment in history. It's always good to hear some of your wisdom, and we really appreciate that.
Oh, no problem, man. No problem. Anytime. And Queen, I got you. I got you. You gonna be up there in front of that camera. You
Queen's
know.
way.
All right.
All right. So if for all the listeners, if you've enjoyed this conversation, make sure that you go to blackboxradio.com. That's BLAKBOXXRADIO.com. You can find more voices from the Rona Report as well as our other interviews. You can also find Black Box Radio on Instagram and Facebook at Black Box Radio.
Listen, Naeem, just like reiterating what G said, we appreciate you always.
Okay.
You always bring the conversation. We appreciate you sharing what you're going through. But you sound like you got your mind space pretty good. And please be safe. Keep your family safe. Eating well makes you be able to fight a lot of stuff. So keep doing what you're doing.
Absolutely. Y'all keep doing what y'all doing. Hey, the success of your show, I'm wishing the best for it. I mean, this is an ideal time for people with voices to be able to have an outlet. So what y'all doing is great.
And I appreciate that. We need you to send it out to your peoples, because a lot of the content now is being suppressed because they don't want folks to actually talk about this. So send it out, share it to your folks, and get the Rona Report out there.
I got you.
This is 4/3/20. We're in the Rona Report. We had Naeem, and this is Black Box Radio. We out. Peace.